Hello everybody and welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy XIII 2 walkthrough. Alright, so I've actually got a battle here with a Tonberry. Like I've kind of mentioned in some of the previous videos, I've done a lot of extra CP farming, so I'm kind of able to do a battle like this. It doesn't go that well, and I think I actually end up redoing this battle the first time, and at least retrying. Because again, the first one didn't really actually turn out all that great. So what I did was actually, like, I've got, actually I'm not even sure how far I am along. Yeah, there's our retry there. As far as, let me just see what my stats are when I start this battle again. It'll give us kind of an idea where I'm at. So Noel's at about 4,000-ish health, yeah, and Sarah's at about 2k. I actually think that this went a lot better. I had Sarah use the medic role basically the whole time, just to try to restore some of that, missing health that this thing chunks out of you every single turn. And you'll need pretty decent stats to be able to take one of these down. Just because again, they do, or Tonberry does do, it's like 1,000 damage every time he attacks, and it's pretty quick. So you need a way to restore that health, or a Sentinel with just a ton of health would help too, or would do a bit. I don't know if it's as good as just a medic though, restoring the lost health. I didn't try any type of like a synergist with maybe a Saboteur debuffing. I'm not sure what debuffs even land on Tonberries off the top of my head. And I just, to be honest, I've kind of just man-moded these fights every time I've done them. I've actually farmed Tonberry a few times. I wanted to... Tonberry is actually a pretty decent monster to infuse into your other monsters. It's got the strength plus 35% as well as the magic plus 35%, which is actually the whole reason why I was here right now. And I wanted to actually infuse my blue chocobo, and just get the stats even higher than they already are. My blue chocobo is at level 99 right now, so its stats are pretty decent already. But again, I wanted to get that extra strength and magic. It's arguable how good the strength bonus is on it, because it does cast most of the time, although there are fights where I think it does actually use some of its melee attacks instead, because if whatever you're fighting is super resistant to melee, resistant to magic, it'll stop the melee skills. Anyways, Tonberry, as you can see here, he does just brutal attacks. It knives for a while, and the knife inflicts, it looks like it inflicts poison. And then Rancorous Knife, it hits even harder. I'm not sure what the damage formula is on this kind of stuff, but yeah, and then it uses Grudge Knife. It just has all kinds of crazy attacks that are super damaging. So again, if you're gonna try to get one of these, you just need to have really high base stats, otherwise it's just not going to happen. And it doesn't look like I'm even going to be able to stagger it, so that's kind of to be expected too with some of these fights. Vengeance is nigh. Okay. Unfortunately, one thing I do want to add here too is if the battle takes too long, he will just one-shot all of your members. I'm not sure what the ability is. And it might be interruptible. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I did have a fight with one of these Tonberries that took too long, and he just one-shot everybody. So I don't know at what point he does that, but keep in mind that if that does happen to you, well, your stats are just not up to snuff, or you need to adjust your strategy in some way. Yeah, their Rancor Knife is doing, looks like 9,999 damage, so it's one-shotting, well, it should one-shot everybody. But, again, I'm not sure what ability that was, that he literally one-shot everybody, though. So here I tried to hit him with the Pharaoh Link at the end there, and it looked like it worked. So I got the Tonberry Crystal. So I think off screen I just leveled up that Tonberry to get the strength and magic plus 35%. And I infused my blue chocobo, and then I called it a day. So now we're going to move on and kind of get back to the Yashas Massif.
Are we not allowed to go inside?
I'm very sorry. Only persons on official academy business are permitted beyond this point.
Oh.
Maybe this will count as official business!
Alright, so interacting with the NPC there starts the... Oh, I was going to say second Gagamog fight, but this is not a Gagamon. This is Aloidai? Something like that. Obviously, it looks just like Gagamog. Yeah, maybe just a palette swap. So, super easy for me, obviously. Looks like the target time is around, is that 3 minutes? So, shouldn't be too tough.
Is it dead?
We're being dragged in!
When monsters like these are cornered, they cause a space-time vortex to appear. An electromagnetic shock usually shuts them down. It's been a while, Sarah.
Hope? Is that you?
I'm grateful you remember me.
Who's this?
Oh,
Director of Academy Research, Team Alpha. Hope Estheim at your service. And you must be Noel.
Nice guess. Who told you?
You appeared here with Sarah some years ago at the Brescia ruins. Subsequently, we analyzed the gate and forecast your reappearance at this location. To be honest, I didn't really believe that time travel was possible. But here you are. I'm really glad you're safe. For me, it's as if time has stopped. Everyone I knew is gone.
Hope.
From your point of view, it's been years since you last saw Sarah.
Not just Sarah, Snow as well. And Saz and his boy. You all disappeared from my life. It's been 10 years now.
I never thought...
When the paradox occurred some years ago, I thought if I could solve it, maybe you would all come back.
Director, help! There you are! What were you thinking? Taking off and leaving me all on my own. It was a shock seeing Hope grown older than me, but he was still the same Hope I knew. Lightning, Hope listened to my story without saying a word. I told him about how I'm the only one who remembers your smile on the plane of Grand Pulse. I told him about how Snow set out to try and save you and Vanille and Fang. And I told him about Noel. Noel from the future.
There's something I want to show you both. We can continue our conversation as we walk.
I'll show the way.
Shall we?
Tell me, Hope, what made you join the Academy?
A sense of duty. Vanille, Fang, Lightning, they turned to Crystal so that we might live. It was an enormous sacrifice.
My sister and the others. I think they wanted to preserve life. They gave us a chance to live again.
I wonder if we can make the gates
Okay, so this is the first time we meet Hope in this game, and I think Hope has started the academy here, if I'm remembering that correctly.
I've been waiting so long to meet
It looks like we had a,
you.
was
two
that
are the
in,
reason I've continued
I think
my
that was an
research for as long
out-of-phase
as I
treasure sphere
have.
there with the Serenity sachet or something like that. That's one of those items that, like probably 99% of the items in this game, that I'll probably never use.
Was uncovered in these ruins. Seems he had a deep connection with the people of Padra. We've tried analyzing it with the Academy's equipment, but nothing yet. However, it does seem to react to another
okay.
device that we found in these ruins.
I like talking to these random NPCs. Sometimes they have insightful information, and I don't know, they kind of just, you know, flesh out an area. Alright, what do we have here? 3 remedies.
On sunny days, I can't help but wish I didn't have to be at work. I suppose that's not an issue anymore.
Okay. Totally missed what that guy said. My bad. Probably not that important, though, because he's a rando. Alright, so here we've got a floating out-of-phase... I don't know, this is probably going to be a plot item of some sort, or a key item. That's my guess, anyway. Oh, and here I timed it out really bad, so if you notice there, it looks like that treasure box was spinning like crazy. That's because I tried to open up that treasure sphere at the same time as Mog was going to be bringing back that treasure, and it looks like it kind of bugs out, and you actually have to redo it. So I had to grab that. Or throw Mog at that treasure box again. Kind of interesting. It's pretty rare that happens, but.
So, what happened exactly?
And I got the, what was it, the Pathos Jewel? So I think actually that might just be a fragment now that I think about it.
How long has it been? 5 years? You two haven't changed at all.
I hope not. And here we are, meeting in ruins again.
Ruins are places where memories gather like dust. So many layers of time. Probably the easiest place for a paradox to occur.
They put the future in our hands. We're in a position to build a society based on human technology, no longer subject to the whim of the fal'Cie. That's the gift we've been given. It must be confusing to suddenly skip 7 years.
Hope, why are you all so grown up now?
You can't seriously still need an explanation for that, can you?
Well, Sarah, you've traveled 7 years into the future, and though it's been a relatively short period for you, I've continued to age at the normal rate. Does that explain things for you?
Oh, I know that. What I meant to ask was, why do you seem so mature for your age? I'm no scientist, but even I understand that 7 years have passed. Wow, did you really think I was that dense?
No, of course not. Please, you must believe I would never think that of you.
Nice save, Director.
We've made significant progress these past 5 years.
Guests of yours, Director? Watch your step in there.
Thank you.
Isn't the Academy
Okay, so I want to
a
point out
research
one
institute?
thing here. Hope
Why do
in
you
the
need
very,
so many
you have to speak
soldiers?
with Hope twice there.
Without the fal'Cie
The
around,
first
we
conversation
have
he
to
says
be able to
something
protect
about
ourselves.
we're at a point
And that
where we
means
can
The time distortions spawn
just
hostile
use basically
creatures.
human inventions
Until
and
we can
human
resolve the
technologies
paradox,
to make the
we need
future a
military
better place.
force to repel
I want
threats.
you to remember that
These
he
armed
said that
patrols are
there,
essential for our safety.
because he doesn't do that later. The second thing I want to point out, though, is there is a live trigger there, and that is another opportunity for a funny answer. When you ask Hope why he's so grown up. I do like the responses to that, especially Knowles. He's like, are you really that dense? Do you really still need an explanation for why that's the case? But, and then Hope, you know, kind of tries to spell it out. Probably tries to mansplain it a bit. And then Sarah's like, wait, did you really think I was that dense? I meant, why are you so mature for your age? much. So
You know,
it's
I
kind of
wish
funny.
you'd said where and when you were from the last time we met.
A great many
All right, so
things
this
have
is the next live trigger here. You can actually ask him about Saz, Snow, and Lightning, but to continue on, you want to talk about the ruins.
I wonder how Saz and little Dodge are doing.
We've been out of touch. Saz took Dodge to live on Grand Pulse, and he was flying airships the last I heard. Then suddenly they both disappeared. I searched everywhere but never found them.
Look at us. All gone our separate ways.
Yes. And I can't tell you how much it means to have you here now. Saz and Snow may have set off on different paths, but I've started to think that, in the end, we're all headed towards the same goal.
Don't work yourself too hard. Don't work yourself too hard.
I can't help but worry about my cat at home.
Don't work yourself too hard.
I'm not sure why I'm running around here. There's no reason to do that.
A great many things have happened.
Hope, do you still think my sister is trapped inside that crystal pillar?
I always had doubts, and it wasn't just me. Saz had them as well.
Really? Saz too?
Yes. He couldn't believe that Lightning would just up and leave Sarah like that. After all, she was the one who said we shouldn't face things alone, that we should stick together. A great many things have happened.
Actually, Hope, we were able to catch up with Snow.
Just 300 years in the future, if you can believe that.
I believe it. Good old Snow. I'm glad to hear he's alive.
He's alive, but he was trying to protect the crystal pillar by himself. The worst part was we had to leave without being able to tell him where we were going.
Have faith. I think I understand what Snow's going through. He's trying to save Vanille and Fang. Not to mention Lightning as well. We're only here today because they chose to bear the weight of a world. A great many things have happened.
This is some kind of ancient city, right?
The city of Padra, or so we believe. It was the center of a great kingdom built by a nation known as the Farseers.
The Farseers? You're telling me there used to be enough of them to build this entire town?
According to our research, we believe they constituted an entire nation. A polity that was ruled by a Cirrus.
Can you see me now? Standing here in this place?
So this nation, Padra? Their leader was a Cirrus, right?
Yes. The Cirrus would read the fates, see the future, and guide her country.
Yule.
Okay, so that's an explanation of the Cirruses of Padra, how they can see the future, and then they direct, like that they were saying, they direct their people basically on what to do.
Here,
Thanks.
you've traveled through time. I suppose it's not surprising you know about these things. The power to rule was passed down from one Cirrus to the next. She was always called Yule.
If they could read time, why did they die out? Surely they could see the danger coming and do something to avoid it.
No, they were destroyed because they could see the future.
Why?
The Cirrus Yule foresaw the future destruction of this city. Some citizens wanted to try to avert the disaster. Others felt that they should simply abandon their homes and run. A few fell into despair and took their own lives. The divided populace clashed. The nation was torn apart by civil war.
Being able to see the future is awfully dangerous. It can mess with people's heads.
Tell me about it. The nation fell apart, and the survivors fled into the wildlands, avoiding contact with others.
Huh. So you know the story.
Oh! Come on, Director Hope! I want to show them! It's okay to show them, isn't it?
This way. Here. This is what lies at the heart of our paradox. The Oracle Drive. We've been giving it careful study.
But how did you...
Wait. You know of these devices?
Oh, well, yeah. I've heard of them. In books and stuff.
The Oracle Drive appears to be some kind of recording apparatus from ancient times. We've excavated a number of the devices. However, the recordings depict things that cannot be possible. Perhaps you should see for yourselves.
This is how it works.
The device was excavated from an ancient part of the ruins. We used carbon dating methods to determine age. The device and the recording stored within are several centuries old.
But it shows lightning.
Someone in the past recorded this vision of the future. Perhaps it was the Seeress Yule herself. What we're concerned about, however, is this. You'll have to excuse the image quality. Yes, I think so. We need to conduct further analysis to be certain.
Is it broken?
No. We've tested both device and data, and everything is nominal. Yet, when we try to view the recording, we get this. Perhaps it's not the recording that's broken. It's the immediate space-time in which we are located.
You mean it could be the paradox? Because the surrounding space-time is twisted, that might be directly affecting the device. So, if the paradox is eliminated, space-time will return to normal. Then we could see the prophecy and find out where my sister is.
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Here.
An artifact.
This object serves as a key, is that right? We try to make it work ourselves, but with no success.
Yeah. We can use that to travel across time.
Then you may have it. I think it'll be far more useful to you than us. Here.
During the years that passed as we traveled outside time and space, Hope had devoted himself to his research, trying to unlock the mystery of the paradox. If the gates are the cause of the puzzle, they might also be the key to unlocking it. But I wonder, am I getting closer? Will I find lightning in the end?
Time to find that gate.
It was in the ruins.
You understand why I wanted to show you the Oracle Drive?
I think I do. You've been looking for lightning too all this time.
Yes. It's not much of a clue, but I thought you should see it all the same. And I wanted you to see how far we've come.
Alright, here is our next live trigger. This is just pick whatever.
Have you ever heard of Valhalla?
I've seen the name in the Padron texts we recovered. A forgotten region, I think.
Was there anything more? That's the place where Noel met lightning.
I'm sorry. We've only been able to decode fragments. The only other thing we've found is a reference to some invisible or unseen realm.
Keep this to yourself, but we're working on a method that will let us travel into the future.
Can't you just use the gates?
A method that doesn't require any special abilities like you guys have. In a powerful gravitational field, the flow of time slows down. You could go to sleep for a day, and outside 100 years would pass. It should be possible to build a device to exploit that effect.
If you pull it off, maybe we'll meet in another era.
Okay, so, all kinds of stuff to talk about. I'm going to probably try to go in a sort of reverse order. It's kind of important when Alyssa here mentions they're working on a technology that will let them travel into the future, which they're just working on essentially hypersleep, or that's kind of the term I've taken from, sci-fi. So essentially they're going to be able to go to sleep, and time will continue on around them, but they will end up in the future. So they're working on that.
They
I guess.
found traces of what looks like a large-scale
the next thing. So the Oracle Drive here is kind of important. Basically, what happens was the Cirrus would have these visions, and the visions were recorded in the Oracle Drive. So that's where we see lightning fighting in Valhalla. There's some nonsense that I don't understand that Sarah is talking about there. Something about something might be a paradox. Again, that stuff is super hard to follow. Although she does talk earlier about how she asked why, if the Cirrus can see the future, why did the
commanding officer even fought in
why did
Cocoon's
Padra
capital city?
fall to ruin, essentially? Which seems legit, right? If you can see your end coming, well, you could potentially do things to mitigate
my computer terminal. If you've got any, I'd be happy to buy them from you. What I really want to get my hands on is the battery used for one of the older models, like the kind they used on Cocoon. It wasn't a very popular model, so the parts are scarce. I saw it in a store window once. I got excited and ran in, but it turned out that the item had already been bought. Really? You'll help me try and find the battery? It might be an impossible task. I already called every store in the book with no luck. But if you say you can get your hands on it, I'll believe you. Thanks for doing this. You want to know what I'll be using it for? I'm a collector. I want to get my hands on all the retro electronics I can.
Alright, so here is all of these quests unlock after, or not, I shouldn't say all of them, but the quests unlock after you speak with Hope. And basically complete all of the story objectives. I think here... no, I don't... I'm trying to think if we've answered all the... I don't think we've answered actually all of the live triggers yet. I don't think so.
If
But
I could go
anyways,
back in
let's,
time, although I guess that
running around here. But anyways, so Cole is looking for an old battery. I'm not sure which timeline that actually comes from. If I could guess, I'd say it's the next version of the Ashes Massif. So we'll eventually get that, but it is not found here.
You're friends with the
yet.
director, right? Don't let me get in the way.
And then one other thing, this is a quest here.
Make sure to watch your step when you're walking along the cliffs. It's a little embarrassing, but this one time, I accidentally slipped and almost went over the edge. At that moment, I was sure I was gonna die. Fortunately, help came right away, so the only casualty was my wristwatch. It's now lying at the bottom of the valley. It scares me to think that could have been me. I still miss that watch. It was an expensive one that had to be modified to withstand all the wear and tear of the outdoors. What a waste.
Okay, so Shannon lost her wristwatch. Are you sure? We're not going to be able to get that for a while.
I've had zero luck. With the eclipse keeping everything in the dark, it's almost impossible to see anything around here. I doubt it's the best time to go searching.
I think the wristwatch is found in the third iteration of the Ashes Massif. And I think I made, I don't know, I kind of want to say a little bit of a mistake here. I shouldn't have picked up both of those quests because anytime you have two quests in an area, you can't pick up any more. And there actually is a quest up here that I should be able to pick up, but now I can't because I've already got two active. And neither of the ones that I grabbed are actually completable, whereas this next one would be. Basically, there's an NPC that should be cruising around right around in this area.
Indeed.
So they're from a different world. Maybe from Valhalla.
Whatever the case, it's all conjecture. We don't have enough samples to prove anything.
Okay, whatever they... it's actually... It looks like it's that NPC right there. Or it might even be this one. Their sprites look similar. But anyways, like I said, because I've already picked up those other two quests, now I'm not able to get that, so I should have actually waited to pick up one of those. The NPC we're looking for, I think, is... It's either... Oh man, now I don't want to butcher the name. I can't remember if it's Bridget or Brenda. I feel like it's one of those two. Anyways. So we're actually not able, or I'm not going to be able to do any of those quests for quite some time.
There's a considerable
and that's why I'm running around here speaking with these NPCs, because that's who I was looking for. But again, we're not actually able to pick that up now, because again, I've already picked up too many of the other quests in the area. So that's my bad. Anyways, keep moving on here. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was, and actually I think I mentioned this in one of the earlier, actually it might have been the last video. Right on above the ledge right above us on the ledge up there is another treasure box, and you actually can't really see it from where we're standing. So we either have to wait until we unlock the chocobos, or you can throw a Mog up there. If you throw them at just the right spot, you can actually grab it. It's the Fruit of Fenrir, and that's usable for a quest, I think actually in the next version of the Ashes Massif. So I think it's useful though to get it now, just so that, you know, once we actually get to the NPC, we can just, you know, hand it over. But obviously I didn't throw Mog up there quite yet. I don't know if I do it even in this video. No, that was in this one. And then I want to say there was a treasure sphere that I missed as well up here somewhere. So hopefully I've got footage of that. It's probably not useful. I feel like if there was ever a time where there was a treasure sphere that actually had something good in it, it usually stands out. I can probably count on one hand how many
no one's hurt, right?
useful treasures come out of treasure spheres, but that's just my 10 cents, 5 cents, whatever the saying is, my 2 cents. trying to make up sayings like that. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I'm about out of time, so I think this is our last battle for this video, and I'll continue on with the Yasha's Massif, I think, in the next video. Hopefully we'll finish up all of the rest of the story here, live trigger-wise, and kind of continue on our way. So, as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you keep on joining me for more videos. Thanks for watching.
The creatures of the... Are the pulse valves still active?